Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Now, before we get into my season 28 settings, we need to talk. But on a real note, I'm gonna keep this short. I want to apologize for the lack of content the past few months on YouTube. I've been doing a lot of things in my personal life, privately, and I've just been missing YouTube and streaming a lot. So I decided I'm gonna come back to YouTube and streaming again. I will upload more consistently again, and I'm gonna be streaming again soon as well. More on that at the end of the video. But yeah, let's get right into my season 28 settings. Hope you enjoy. Alright guys, we are now in the range, and before we go over all of my season 28 settings, I just need you guys to take a second and look at this beautiful banner that I made here. I mean, it's just beautiful, right? But whatever. We're gonna go over all of my season 28 settings, so I'm gonna give you a rundown of what I've changed since the last settings video. And also I'm gonna be talking about some things that I've noticed that felt a little bit different this season when it comes to my sensitivity. So yeah, we're just gonna hop right into the gameplay settings first. Alright, we are now in the gameplay settings, and as you can see, they did rearrange and sort the settings now, which is actually kind of nice. But I'm just gonna go and scroll down so you guys can copy whatever you want to copy. I'm gonna go over a few of these, especially my reticle, which is 0, 208, 175. My laser sight is 0, 128, 108. And then also the enemy health bar I have disabled. This is pretty much a personal preference thing. But to be honest, theoretically, the health bar could give you a benefit in some situations, especially when you have like cluster on your screen. You still kind of have a object to track, sort of, so you can still kind of see your enemy through heavy cluster. But yeah, me personally, I have it disabled. It's more of a personal preference thing. And I'm just gonna scroll a little bit here. My mantle boost activation is my jump. I have hide prompt on my mantle boost UI. And then all of these settings here are pretty much personal preference. So that's it for my gameplay settings. And now we're gonna get into the actual sauce, my controller settings. So let's get right into it. So a part of my sense, nothing else has pretty much changed in here, but I'm still gonna show you my button layout because this is a very weird and specific button layout. I'm gonna turn off my cam here. So basically this, in my opinion, is one of the best button layouts that you can play if you do not use claw and you do not use paddles. So me personally, I do play on a DualSense Edge controller, but I did take off the paddles because I'm just so used to playing with default controllers and I'm in love with my button layout. So I just kept it that way and did not use the paddles at all. Yeah, this button layout pretty much allows you to do everything without removing your thumb from the stick ever, pretty much. The only exception is pretty much when you're trying to switch your weapons, which is not that big of a deal actually, because when you're done shooting and you're gonna switch your weapon, you have a downtime anyways until you can shoot your next weapon. So yeah, you have to take that trade-off, but everything else is pretty much perfect in my opinion on this button layout, so I heavily recommend trying it out. I'm also gonna quickly show you guys how I hold my controller. So with this button layout, basically what I'm doing is I have two fingers here. My index finger is on L1, my middle finger is on L2, and right here I only use my index finger on R1 and also for R2. So this is basically how I hold my controller, no claw. I only pretty much claw when I'm trying to use heals. And yeah, that's pretty much how I hold my controller. So The rest in here is pretty much the same as last video. So I have crouch on hold, aim on hold, survival slot button off so I can spin my heirlooms. Menu cursor speed is pretty much in the middle. And yeah, let's get right into my new sense, which is still similar, but there are a few changes which I'm gonna go over. So first, for everybody that has not watched my previous video, I'm gonna explain why I have different sensitivities for the different peroptics. So pretty much the reason why I have different sensitivities for each of these peroptics is because they all have different kind of characteristics. So I went with a 1 sensitivity on my 1x, obviously with the ALC multiplier that I'm going to show later. Because the characteristics of the 1 sense is that it has the same vertical speed as the horizontal speed, which makes it really easy to control recoil from any distance with SMGs. And it also feels really natural because when I'm moving my stick circular around, it does the same thing for every direction since it has the same vertical and horizontal speed. And it also just feels really sticky in general, and it just feels really consistent up close as well. And the reason why I went 2 on my 2, 3, and 4x is because the 2 sensitivity is basically a mixture between 1 and 3. I'm gonna go over why I went 3 on the snipers first, so you guys understand why I went 2 on these a little bit better. So basically the characteristics of 3 is that it has the slowest vertical speed and the highest horizontal speed out of these 3 sensitivities here. And the reason why I chose that for my snipers is because you're pretty much going to be aiming on a horizontal scale anyways, and you don't really want your aim jumping up and down. I don't really use snipers that much anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I still just set it to 3. And then my 2, 3, and 4x, they are on 2 because 2 is basically a middle ground between 1 and 3. So the characteristics of 2 are that it has a slightly slower vertical speed than 1 and a slightly higher horizontal speed than 1, but it's still not as fast horizontally as 3 and also not as slow vertically as 3, which is perfect for my 2, 3, and 4x because I am still controlling recoil, but it's on a further range, so I don't really want to have my aim jumping up and down if I'm just moving my stick slightly. So this just feels perfectly controlled for me. And yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I have these different sensitivities on all of my peroptics. And now I'm going to go over my ALC bleed over and my ALC peroptics. Alright, so let's get right into my ALC bleed over. So as you can see, I am using all 0 on my ALCs with target compensation off. And the reason for this is some people say it's placebo. I personally don't think it's placebo. These kind of have an effect on how your sense feels even after you end up turning these off again. So I've tried many different things. I've tried all kinds of ALC bleed overs, putting some stuff up. And for me personally, all 0 is just the most consistent, and also target compensation off also feels better to me than having this on. So yeah, that's basically my ALC bleed over, and then my bleed over peroptics are 3.0, 1.8, 1.9, 1.9, and then just 1. And if you calculate this with my normal peroptics, you're gonna realize that I'm basically on 4.1 times 3.0, which is 3. And then these are on 2 in my normal peroptics, so it's 2 times 1.8, 1.9, 1.9. And then my snipers are on 3, so it's pretty much just 4.3 on my snipers. And then if you want to apply these settings, you gotta leave this on and just press circle. And then you want to close out of the normal ALCs completely, so you're gonna turn this off right here. So that's also the reason why you're still gonna have aim assist even if you turn target compensation off. This just changes the feeling of the sense a little bit, but you're still gonna get aim assist because you turn ALCs off. And everything that sticks is just the ALC multipliers. And yeah, that's basically my sense for season 28. But now I do want to talk about something, and that is, for some reason, my aim has been feeling a little bit different this season compared to last season. So last season I was on the exact same settings. Everything was the exact same. I was shooting perfectly fine. But now this season I felt kind of slow while tracking, and I felt like I had to move my stick more just to track people. So what I did was, since I have a DualSense Edge, I went into my DualSense Edge profiles, and what I did was I basically, as you can see right here, I basically put my right stick on quick -5. So as you can see, my right stick is on quick -5 right here, which basically just kind of just slightly makes my response curve a little bit faster. So it's not completely linear. It's kind of a little bit more like the opposite of going towards classic. It's a little bit more quick, as the name says it. And this has just been feeling perfect to me. But don't worry, if you do not have a DualSense Edge controller, what I actually suggest you doing is, of course, this sense can feel perfectly fine for you the way it is, because for me it was last season. So you can just try it like this first. But if it ends up feeling slow, what I recommend doing is just upping this by like 0.1 or 0.2 on each of these paroptics. So like 3.1, 3.2, and then here 1.9, 2.0, 2.0, whatever you think is good for you. So you can actually have good tracking that doesn't feel like you have to move your stick all the way to the corner just to track somebody. So yeah, that's what I suggest you doing. The snipers don't really matter that much for this. But yeah, that's pretty much all for my sensitivity. Now I'm just gonna go over the rest of my settings real quick. My brightness is just a few ticks above the middle. My FOV is 110. I've been on 110 for the past like 10 seasons. It's just the most consistent for me personally. I have this disabled, this on minimal, and then obviously performance mode for 120 FPS. And then in my audio settings, I do use focused, even though I don't really notice that much of a difference. I just use focused. And then these are my advanced audio settings. I don't really see a reason to turn any of these like off or anything. I just leave them for now. But yeah, so that is pretty much a wrap for my season 28 settings. And now before I end this video, I just want to say thank you guys for supporting my channel, even though I haven't been uploading recently. The love you guys are showing is honestly really motivating to me to keep going with content. And I just wanted to make an announcement. So I don't know exactly when, but pretty soon I will be going live again, probably with like daily kill grind streams, because I've been enjoying Wildcard a lot. So I'm pretty excited for that. Make sure you guys subscribe for the next few uploads, because I am planning on uploading more videos again soon on YouTube. And make sure you guys like the video and leave a comment. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'm gonna try to answer all of your questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video.